if you are feeling directionless and you need inspiration, then you can just start from Bhagavad Gita. I think that's something which I would highly recommend as the first book you read. If you want to know, if you want to have answers, if you want to know what next, where to go, and some practical solutions for your life, this is something which I would really recommend and request actually for the young generation to read.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today it is an honor and a pleasure for me to introduce you all to this very particular session where we are going to know more about the difference between getting out of your comfort zone. My name is Harsh and I'm going to moderate this session for all of you, wherein I'm going to introduce you all about the event and perhaps the person who is going to interact and address all of us. First of all, I request you all to kindly acknowledge and welcome the presence of our esteemed guest, Madam Monisha K. Gumbar, who is here with us. I would like to request all the persons, those who are watching this session on YouTube, to kindly upload in the comment section and welcome the presence of our guest. Madam Monisha K. Gumbar is an Indian author of an immensely popular teen novels called Sick of Being Healthy, Dying to Live, a part of memorable book of 2017 on Amazon India, and finally the third in the teen book series Dolly Won't Play. She also has another novel called Bahir, to her credit meant for old readers, and is about a Pakistani woman survivor in the Middle East. All her books have been in the best-selling list of their categories. So first of all, ma'am, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Harsh, for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am. So moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen is great things never come from comfort zone. Ma'am, my first question to you is great things never come from comfort zone. This is a very famous quote, but what actually does it mean? What is the difference between getting out of your comfort zone and doing things you don't like?
Okay. First of all, what you're saying is great things don't come from your comfort zone, right? Yeah, this is definitely a popular quotation or saying that people have been following. Probably it is to motivate those who are uncomfortable in their current situations and they need to make certain choices to move ahead and do something which they are supposed to do or achieve things in life. But if you asked me, I'll be very honest, I don't really believe in any quotation unless I really know the context of it. There are no hard and fast rules or golden rules in life. It depends on where you are at that particular moment. So to say words like never, always would be something which I don't do on a regular basis. So I'm not sure if I can completely agree with you that great things never come out of your comfort zone. Having said that, it does not really mean that if you are uncomfortable in a certain situation, you cannot really achieve great things. Even if you are not so comfortable, you are working hard, like you say, like you might have also heard another saying that the more you sweat in field, the less you will bleed in battle. So if you are working hard, you are uncomfortable physically and mentally, you are exhausted, you can still achieve greater things. And sometimes you are very comfortable being where you are and love whatever you are doing and enjoy whatever you're doing. You can also achieve great things like that. So as I said, it doesn't matter whether you're comfortable or not comfortable. As long as you know what you want, you try to enjoy what you're doing and leave everything else to God. All you can do is just work hard and hope for the best.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question to you is, and I'm sure you must have tackled this question more than 500 times before also. But again, I'm requesting you to, ma'am, kindly explain our viewers, when did you finally realize you wanted to be a writer, and what actually inspired you to start writing?
Actually, I have been writing since I was a child, but I never really felt confident that I could actually write something which is worth printing or publishing. It was for my own satisfaction. And I had a regular corporate job, which I had to quit or take a sabbatical for some personal and family reasons. And that is when I felt directionless and I didn't really know what next. And my husband, he motivated and actually forced me to think about writing, because he thought that I'm good at, making those corporate proposals or presentations. So he thought I have it in me, and I did not believe in myself. But because he forced me so much, I thought that I do have ideas. Even if I don't have the skills required to be a writer, I can definitely express myself. At least I have a lot to say to teenagers and all children who are growing up and who need answers from the world and who are going through a lot of struggles and anxieties and stress for any reason. So that's when I thought, okay, let me give it a shot. And that's how I wrote my first book, which is called Sick of Being Healthy. And it deals about problems that, not only girls, but boys, growing up boys, men, women, people of all ages face, that they're not really comfortable about the way they look like, and they want to change things about themselves. It's about having a positive body esteem and having more confidence. And that's how I wrote. And after writing that book, I actually thought, yes, this is something which I enjoy doing. I do want to be a writer, at least for some time.
Indeed, ma'am. I think it is going to inspire many of us, and I'm pretty sure that many of viewers will seriously take it and will understand this. And those who wanted to be a writer, it will be beneficial for them. Ma'am, my next question to you is, how long does it take to you to write a book, and what, in your opinion, are the most important elements of good writing?
Actually, my first book, it took me about 6 months to actually write it down. It's called Sick of Being Healthy. I have it right in front of me. Now, obviously, we have the updated covers, but this is the one I've got. So, and it took me longer time because I was also doing illustrations, as you can see. So these are basically graphic novels, which I have written. This is the first one. So, but it really depends on the kind of story you want to tell. What are the readers? How thick you want the book to be? Do you have a word limit in mind? And it all depends on that. So it can take anything between 3 months to a year, 2 years, if it calls for a lot of research. If it is on a technical topic, if it's about history, then definitely it will take a much longer time. But if it's fiction, then you have a lot of freedom to do what you want to do. So, and if you have the time and you don't have another job, a daytime job, then definitely you can write it within 6 months and it should be ready for publishing within a year. And your second part is, what are the elements to write a good book? That's what you asked. So I think the most important is, which has worked, I think, for me. Why I'm saying it's worked for me, it's not because I think I'm super successful or anything like that, or I have a huge fan following. It's only because I feel more or less satisfied that I have done my best. And what has worked in my case is that I have been very true to myself, in the sense that I have never written anything which I did not mean. So, and I always had the greater good in mind. People say that I want to write to help others. And in my case, I actually meant it, and I mean it. Till now, I always wrote to make a difference in the lives of especially children, who, like I said, who could be going through a lot of stress growing up and probably don't have people to talk to or don't have enough guidance. So, and then elements like technically, obviously your grammar should be reasonably good. You should have ideas. Even if you're not able to express them properly, it's very important to have powerful ideas. even if they are simple, they should be relatable, and it should not be a difficult task to actually read and understand your books, especially if you're writing fiction. Then you have to make sure that they are easy, people understand, people relate to them. Your characters are from this very world, and not aliens. And they can be quirky, they can be strange. You can add a lot of an element of humor and individual touch, but at the same time, they should be from the planet Earth, I feel. Even if you're writing about aliens, there should be something, that touches the audience, and that, oh, I do understand how or what this alien is going through. So that's very important. And I think I mentioned everything else. Technical skills, definitely, they can be worked on, but your intention should be very clear from the very beginning as to why you are writing. Yeah, thank you.
Indeed, ma'am. Again, it was a quite insightful answer from you, right? And I think the viewers, those who are watching this session, they are surely going to take it. Not only I think, but I do strongly believe this. Ma'am, my next question to you is, where do you get your information or ideas for your books, and how do you develop your plot and characters?
Actually, I have written 4 books so far, and all of the books are motivational contemporary fiction and mostly meant for girls, young girls, except for the last one, which is called Bahir. And it is about a Pakistani immigrant woman's life in the Middle East. So that is meant for older readers. So when I say older readers, it doesn't mean that it's got adult content or anything. It's just that like people from all ages can actually read the book, and from all backgrounds. So I get my inspiration from everyday life. Like I said, Sick of Being Healthy is about a girl who doesn't feel comfortable about her looks. And growing up, I always had this issue of, I was considered, like in India, they don't say fat, they say healthy, right? So this girl, she says, I'm just so sick of being healthy. I want to be thin, and I want to look hot, and I want to attract boys and things like that. And she does something drastic. She goes on a very bad diet and ends up losing weight. She also gets a disease. Now, fortunately, I didn't have to go through any extremes. I have not, but I understand if it happens to people. And I can dramatize and I can add my value because I kind of understand. And like I said, my children, like my boy is obviously, he's 30, he's 12. But my daughter, when I had written this book, she was just turning a teenager, and I kind of understood what she was going through, her friends were talking about. And that's how I wrote the second book. They were under a lot of academic stress. And then I also used to read, newspaper accounts about children who actually do drastic things, like even commit suicide because of bad results, academic results. And I really wanted to reach out to them that it's not really worth it. And you need to talk about your issues and find people you trust, and don't take life so seriously. It's meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to be lived. And marks and all, obviously they do matter, but not that much that
Indeed, ma'am.
You try to just kill yourself over something so stupid. I feel. I obviously my books are not judgmental. And the third book is the third part of the series, the teen book series. It's called Dolly Won't Play, and it's about child abuse. And this is something which you see on everyday basis, that children get physically and mentally abused, if not just sexual. Parents sometimes they don't even know, but they are actually emotionally abusing their children. So all this has a very bad impact on them, and I wanted the world to realize what children go through, especially children who have even learning difficulties, what they go through. So this is how I get my inspiration from, and all my books revolve around real world issues, but at the same time they are not preachy. They are definitely non-judgmental. I'm nobody to judge anyone, and I do understand why people do things they do and where they're coming from. So and they say fact is stranger than fiction. So you come across all these things, all these little stories, inspirational stories all the time in your lives. You just have to keep an open mind towards them, and there's a story everywhere. Yeah.
Indeed, ma'am. I would like to tell my viewers that through her book, she raises serious issues like low self-esteem, negative body image, academic pressures, child abuse, immigrant lives in her signature lightweight style. Ma'am, my next question to you is, what is the most surprising thing you have discovered while writing your books?
Surprising thing that I have discovered is, like I said, when I started out, I thought I don't have the skills to actually write a full-fledged novel. But I was very surprised that I was enjoying the process so much. And especially when I had written my book, Bahir, actually, I don't know, I thought it was here. Yeah. This is the book, Bahir. So and in the process, I realized that writing a book is almost like meditation. You don't know where you are, who you are, and why it's happening, who's making you write. And I felt that there's a divine power, and it's meant to touch lives. Even if, like I said, it's not touching millions of lives, or they are not like bestsellers and things like that, though they have been in that category a few times. But obviously, I'm not in the league of Amish Tripathi or Chetan Bhagat or J.K. Rowling's or anyone like that. No way. But still, I felt that even if I'm able to touch a few lives, and some people can take inspiration from it, it would be worth the efforts. And I felt like a lot of connection to the divine power. And that's what I discovered, which was very surprising to me while I was writing my books. Yeah.
Indeed, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question to you is, what advices would you like to give to a new writer, someone just starting out?
Someone who's just starting out, I would say that you just need to write, and I would say believe in yourself, feel confident and things like that. But it's okay not to always feel confident. It's absolutely fine if you don't trust your instincts or your skills. But the only thing you can do is actually get down to work. And while you are in the process, you will realize that these are the things you need to work on. These are things you need to get better at. And you keep practicing. And that's how the book will itself take its own shape. Sometimes you don't have a very good skeleton ready. But like I can tell you that it really depends on the kind of person you are. I like to have a very structured approach towards writing. So I like to divide my books into chapters. And even though some people say don't count your words, but I really want to have a word count in my mind. Maybe it's because of my corporate background or anything like that. Otherwise, I want to have certain boundaries as to where I can go, because you don't really want to keep on writing stuff which is irrelevant and end up boring the readers. So the word count, the structure, the chapters, what you really want to say, the skeleton more or less should be in place before you start, and the plot and the kind of characters. But at the same time, you should let the book just flow and take its own shape. And that's what happens actually in real life. And it's also one of the surprising things. When you're writing, you will realize that there are so many things which were just not in your mind when you started out, and it's just happening on its own. The characters are speaking their own language, doing things which you did not intend them to do. And it's a very creative and interesting and very satisfying process.
Indeed, ma'am. I think it's a kind of privilege today. We got to hear all those things from you. And I must say the kind of energy you brought into this session was very inspiring. And ma'am, at the same point, I have to say that I don't want to take you much time. And also, ma'am, there's a lot to learn from you, no doubt. So moving to my last question of this session, what is one inspiration message you would like to give to the all viewers, those who are watching this session?
Inspiration message, I think the world itself will give you a lot of ideas and inspiration as to where you have to go. But if you are feeling directionless, what has worked in my case, and it's working now also, is that I went back to my roots. It's very important for the young people to know where they come from and take pride in the fact that we are all Indians. We have a very strong ancient history. We have beautiful scriptures, which unfortunately were not taught to us when we were young, when we were growing up. We think, and then being true to our dharma. Dharma doesn't mean being Hindu or Muslim or anything. but dharma is actually a sum total of your rights, responsibilities, and privileges. This is something which you really have to understand. I would recommend, if you are feeling directionless and you need inspiration, then you can just start from Bhagavad Gita. I think that's something which I would highly recommend as the first book you read. If you want to know, if you want to have answers, if you want to know what next, where to go, and some practical solutions for your life, this is something which I would really recommend and request actually for the young generation to read. And then, you will find so many answers of what's happening in your life and why it's happening. And even if you don't find answers, you will achieve a sort of a detachment and not be too paranoid about things and take things in a very cool manner. So this is something which I would recommend, learning about your country, taking pride in it, learning about your culture. It doesn't matter which religion you come from, accepting everyone, being non-judgmental. So these are the things I would like to say. I hope this was the question.
It was really a very wonderful message from your side. And I think the viewers, those who are watching the session, it will be fruitful for them as well. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining and giving your important time. It was a very healthy discussion with you on the topic. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
On the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone.